as an engineer myself, how do I become a mentor? What do I do? How do people get involved?
It's really, 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 really easy because you don't have to follow the rules because there are no rules. There's no rules to follow. If you walk through the pits, every single team you see will have their story on how they got involved. Well, my dad is an engineer at such and such, and my cousin was on a team 3 years ago, and my dad wanted to know. So I took him to meet our science. And the next thing I know, we were doing meetings in our basement, and my dad's our mentor. You go to the next team. I'm the chief technology officer of blah, 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 like a Fortune 50. Like you walk through the pits and you'll see senior people from little companies like IBM or GE or Google or Apple or Amazon. They're all there. But every team, sometimes it's a group of kids that started on their own and they went and they found an engineer that would help. Sometimes there's a math or a science teacher that says, I want to do this. I don't want to coach football or basketball. I want to coach a team. And they go out and find somebody to help. But almost every team has their own story. And then in the early days at the kickoff, when I'm unveiling it, there'd always be newbies there. There'd always be rookies. And they'd raise their team. Can one coach work with two teams? And the next guy would say, we have a very small school. Can we have two coaches with this? Next guy would say, well, can we have three small schools all work together? And I would finally say, please all stop. Let me make it efficient for you. The answer to every kind of question you can possibly ask, the answer, I can just jump to it. You don't have to wait. The answer is yes, as long as you're trying to help make FIRST more available in a fun way to more kids. There's no set of rules. Teams can be any size. The mentors can come from anywhere. The schools can
Okay,
where they
I
want.
love it. I have two teenage girls right now. We're gonna start a team.
Okay.
Yes, you met one of them. You met Hayla, when I saw you in Maryland.
At
I've
the
got a picture with you and her. That's my niece, and then her and her best friend, they would love to do this. So we're
okay.
totally gonna start that. Yeah, I love it. I love that there are no rules. So I'll definitely follow up with that. Okay, so now I want to talk about we're going to pivot a little bit, but I want to talk about how I became interested in you. Because I didn't know, I knew what the Segway was, but I didn't know that you invented it. I learned about you because I'm friends with Martine Rothblatt. And so I went to an event in California in, I think it was 2022, called Life Itself. And as Martine was doing the grand finale presentation with the 3D printed organ, I might be able to show that video. I don't know. I might need to get permission from CNN. I think they own it. But as she was showing that, and I actually just went to that event to see her, she told me about it. When Martine tells you about something, you go, you know it's going to be
Yes.
amazing. Yeah,
Agreed.
and so I went specifically for her, and kind of at towards the end of her presentation, she said this, and I am gonna steal this little part from CNN. I don't think they'll mind that it's so short. And I'm gonna share my screen again really quick because I wanna play this part.
I went to every helicopter company because I have a full-time job. I didn't want to do this myself, but they all said, no, this will never work. They'll be too heavy. Only one person in the whole country believed in me, and I went to a lot of people, and that was Dean Kamen.
So let me provide some context, what for our audience. I know you know what she's talking about there, but most of our audience does know about Martine's story because we've had her on the show before. But just a quick recap is Martine is 3D printing organs, mass producing organs that she will deliver via e-helicopters or eVTOLs, as a lot of us in the industry call them. And so at that presentation, she presented an actual 3D printed organ, and I knew of Dean Kamen, but I wasn't expecting her to say that. So then after her presentation, I run up to you and I'm like, hey, Dean, hey, Dean. And you're kind of like, yeah, I don't have time. There was a crowd around you. And so you kind of blew me off. But then, as fate would
Hey,
have it,
I don't blow anybody off, but if there were people I knew I could hit up for support, I started
ah,
and I go for the new ones.
no, there were very deep pockets there. Yeah, no, I wasn't the slightest bit offended. I'm totally teasing. But then we ran into each other again in the summer, and I was like, okay, this is my chance to officially meet Dean Kamen. And so we finally got to meet, and that's how we did this podcast.